Sorry folks, I am back online. That was really poor form on my behalf. I just wanted to, I'll just wait until everyone gets back on. I'm super sorry, I really am. Definitely not professional tonight. A bit flustered, maybe I should call it quits before we even start. But what I'll do, again, as we just say good evening folks, I'm very sorry about just before. I definitely am not feeling professional tonight. I'm a little bit rattled by today's kind of revelations. Because it's been a bit of a weird old day, to be honest. I was having an absolutely amazing day today. Hello Kerry, hello again. So sorry guys, I'm very sorry. And I'm sorry about the hat folks, but the clippers slipped and it made a complete mess of my hair. So I'm waiting for my wife to get here so I can have a haircut. Anyway, here we are, folks. What I wanted to do is just go over this email that was sent to us by Department of Environment. I also want to bring up a few points in this for everybody. This is a bit of a question and answer email podcast. But anyway, firstly, just what like I said before, please. This isn't a sling and match on call to action and burn them at the stake. This is about facts and figures, again, as we always doing. And I want to just let everyone know that it's been a very kind of turbulent time for me here in Fowler's running this business this year, and I have been, I've been on edge quite a lot of this season. Both the weather's been terrible, but the circumstances surrounding our season and what's happening in this in the background is really difficult. Although it looks like I'm a very open person, I'm extremely private. I'm a very private person, although my life is very public. I like doing what I do. I love doing what I do here in Fowlers Bay, and I do it because people, a lot of people can't get here to do or see or witness places or things like this. And we've been here over the last 17 years, and in the last few years, especially ever since COVID, we've been here being able to facilitate this, which takes it to a broader community. But that, folks, is not the person that I truly am. The person I truly am, I am a very reserved person. Yes, I'm working in a very public position, but I am a reserved person. And I'm not an aggressive person. Well, say that, I'm not an aggressive person, but I do believe that I need to protect something that means a lot to me, my family, and the future of my family as well. But not only that, I'm protecting what is out the front and what we've created. And I don't care what people say at that point. Is we've been here over the last 17 years watching this nursery grow, and it's not because of, again, the overflow of the Great Australian Bight. It's because this area is protected, and again, the Southern Right Whales are recovering. They're recovering nicely. Yes, slow in some places, but it ebbs and flows. It swings and roundabouts. One year's it's good, and next year's it's bad, and that's just what happens with whale season or anything to do with migrating species. You can blame it on climate change. You can blame it on tourism. You can blame it on noise. You can blame it on whatever you want. But at the end of the day, these whales they're migrating for reasons that are unbeknown to us. Anyway, we've been put in a position here in Fowlers Bay that's allowed us to protect these whales but grow very close to these whales over the last 17 years. Not only has it grown have we grown extremely attached to the area and the whales. We've developed a product here that is sustainable both for tourism and the protection of the southern right whales as they're recovering back on our coastline, Australian coastline, world coastline, whatever you want to look at it and however you want to look at it. But as everyone knows, because it's very public, that this is again, this is a very, firstly, is everyone able to see and watch this? Because I am not really seeing too many people kind of floating in and out. But I want to kind of get it to a point where everyone that needs to watch it is watching it. So anyway, the email that what we've been going through in the last. Okay, thanks, wife. Thank you. Simone's sitting in the background there watching as well. I'm just kind of waiting for a few things here. Again, just trying to engage a few people so they can ask questions as well. So, anyway, so what's happening? Yeah, awesome. That's cool. So guys, this email that came through today is in a response to probably 5 different emails that we have done for the department or to the Department of Environment over the last almost 3 months now, and the response that we got back finally today really highlights a few changing of the goalposts, and it's definitely this is definitely rocking my world at the moment. So firstly, when we're coming into this, I want to call out a few things here, and at least I got thank you for the initial correspondence on the 14th of August, but I think that should be the 1st of July. This email that we have got now brings up a whole new range of research that wasn't in the original in the original management plan, or the new environment, the new, what do you call it, wild nursery protected area. It wasn't, again, the research, okay, I'm getting confused now, the research that was initially presented is now increased as the momentum grows for the Department of Environment, as they start researching further and further and start digging more and more on the tourism, wild tourism, Fowler's Bay, and what's happened here. So this, as it says here, to prepare background for scope and paper examination of the right whales utilised. So a lot of the science based in this now, which they're bringing in, not only the scope and paper from Claire Charlton, they're also bringing in and this is one of the first points I want to bring up as we start going into this, because I need to be prompted into some of these questions. So Sim, you need to prompt me so I can answer them correctly. It goes into the scoping paper for Fowler's Bay, and originally and this is where it comes in here. I'll bring up this. So in this research that was meant to be undertaken here in Fowler's Bay. So as you're aware, this study was originally intended to be taken in Fowler's Bay. As you're aware, this study was originally intended to be undertaken in Fowler's Bay. However, I've been informed that you declined to participate in the study. Now, this is the first point that I want to bring up in this, and a lot of people don't know the truth behind that. Firstly, behind that comment. So, I believe it was 2021. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and sorry, Kerry, what they're trying to make out here is that I don't cooperate, and they're trying to, they're writing, again, they'll be documenting all of the emails that I do and the aggressive behaviour of me, but what they've got to be aware of is that I'm equally attacking them with the force that they put on me over the years, or I'm not even going to say me, our family, my wife and I, over the years here in Fowlers Bay trying to build this business. So I'm just going to, so that comment there, guys, as you're aware, as you're aware, the study was originally intended for Fowlers Bay. So yes, guys, I'm going to answer that one right now. So yes, this is how this one played out. As everyone is aware, Fowlers Bay has been growing and developing since we bought the property in 2008. 2011, we started our relationship with Claire Charlton, Dr. Claire Charlton here in Fowlers, where we were monitoring these whales and behaviour of these whales, distribution of these whales and acoustic studies of these whales over a very long period, and still today, to this year, we're still aligned with science as well. That particular study that was intended for Fowlers Bay, guys, that intended study for Fowlers Bay was a very, very contentious issue, not only for myself, but for for Dr. Claire Charlton as well. For me, and this is how this played out. So on a Thursday afternoon, I'm not going to give you dates. Thursday afternoon, I can give you days. On a Thursday afternoon, I was, and this was about 4:30 in the afternoon, I was contacted by the Streaky Bay Regional Manager for the Department of Environment, and asked or requested for a meeting. At that point in time, you know, we're in the middle of our season. Yeah, it is, Naomi. We're in the middle of our whale season, so again, we're quite busy. I think it was 21, correct me, Simone, 21 or 22. Simone will put the date up for me. And it wasn't, so 21 or 22, around about figure. 4:30 in the afternoon, I was called up by the regional manager. The regional manager stated he wanted a meeting with me, and it was required relatively urgently. Okay, so 4:30, I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. Look, I finished my tour at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, you can come and meet me tomorrow afternoon, or over the weekend, or you know, arrange times. And at that point in time, folks, it was made very clear to me that the meeting would be the following day, so Friday. So he goes, no, I've got to be out, I've got to see you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll finish at 3. So finished the conversation. The conversation went like, I'm going to be there before you go to work on the Friday morning. So this is a Friday morning, guys, absolutely. Friday morning, they turn up at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning here on my doorstep in Fowlers. There was two of them, two of the Department of Environment people turned up, not just one. Again, safety in numbers, I guess. So I also at that point in time instructed my deckhand at the time to sit in on the meeting, because again it needed to be, you know, again forcefully. I knew that there was of urgent requirement for me to listen to what they said. So at 8 o'clock the next morning, the regional manager of the Department of Environment rocked up on my doorstep and get the niceties. G'day mate, how are you? Yeah, I'm good mate. What do you want? No, what do you want? What do you guys, what is so important that you need to come to me before my tour? I've got to be on the boat at 9 o'clock, so I've got paying passengers. What do you need? Tell me what you want. What was so urgent that you needed to drive all the way from Streaky Bay and Ceduna to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning? Hang on, 8:30. Sorry, 8:30 in the morning. And you know, let's just cut the chase. Anyway, so sat down around the table here, the table that I'm sitting at right now, and it was stated to me at that point in time that there was a very well planned out research program that was going to be conducted here in Fowlers Bay. Well planned out. They had accommodation booked, they had their scientists booked, they had Department of Environment crew booked, they had everything booked here in Fowlers Bay, which was, and as we know at that time of the year, those bookings don't just happen, especially over an extended period of time. Those bookings don't happen, and you don't get those bookings instantly. It takes planning, like real planning. At that point in time, when they demanded, and they were telling me about the research, they came in here at 8:30 in the morning and demanded that I comply with the research on a disturbance to find out the disturbance behaviour on our tourism vessel and the Southern Right Whales, led by Kate Sprogus, Dr. Kate Sprogus. And this was facilitated by the Department of Environment. Not only did they demand, and they told me, so they gave me notice of 1 week to accept it. So they rocked up here on a Friday morning and said by the following Thursday, guys, that they will be, not we are hoping you can facilitate this research program. You will be, firstly, complying to all our regulations. We will have drones monitoring your vessel. We will have a Department of Environment person on the beach and also a researcher. We will have a vessel tracker. We'll have we'll have your vessel being tracked. You will comply. We will be here on Thursday next week. The program was for about 2 weeks. This is now 9 o'clock on a Friday morning, and just before my tour. Friday, just before the tour. I, at that point, felt trapped. I felt cornered with no voice. The way that the department went about that particular research, and that researcher, Kate Sprogus, and we didn't have any time to, again, we had tours booked. It's the busiest time of our year. The list goes on of interruptions that will cause within our operation alone. There you go, no collaboration in any way, shape or form. We were not told about this at all, guys. We were not told about this research at all. They said we had 1 week to get our affairs in order, so they will be, and you will be, complying with the demands of the Department of Environment and the researcher. This goes against, guys, not only our business, but the collaboration that Dr. Claire Charlton and the Great Australian Bight team had been doing here for over 12 years. So that team weren't even consulted either, and they were the main stakeholders of research here in Fowlers Bay. They'd been here for nearly 10 years conducting research in and around the whales here in Fowlers Bay. So they knew the site, they knew how the operation was conducted, they knew my procedures, but they had their own research going on. Now, Department of Environment didn't even consult the main researcher, the one that's actually wrote the scoping paper, before they arrived here. Now, that research was well and truly planned. They had to get Kate Sprogus over from Western Australia. She's not a South Australian, she's a Western Australian. So we did our digging on that particular researcher. And again, the narrative was set back in, and Simone, please quote me on the year that this was. I don't know if it was 21 or 22. The narrative was set back then. So what this this now, where we're in now is a very well planned out, aggressive strike on the business. And here's the kicker, folks. By Monday morning, we'd found out that the particular researcher in Maine has a passion for, an anti-passion for tourism, whale tourism. She believes that the whale tourism, again, is a poisonous industry. And again, Simone, please correct me, put some context in this because I'm dying. But she definitely wasn't for, again, developing products around the whale tourism here in Fowlers. It was a narrative set by Susan Close back in 22. So 21, so there you go. So it would have been 21 because it was the first year that Susan Close was in power. So that narrative was set back in 2021, folks. They had their eye on getting these rules passed here in Fowlers Bay in 2021. By Monday morning, I made some pretty hefty phone calls through to the South Australian Tourism Industry Council and also Department of Environment, saying that we will not comply to this research. The research would have been flawed because they're bringing in researchers that have no local knowledge of the area, no local knowledge of our operation, but also it was intrusive and it was demanding. It cornered the business, it cornered us, it put us in a really precarious position, and it made us at that point in time look like we're not complying with science. Now, we've been giving our data to science ever since we've been here, and there's at no point in our time that we've been here that we haven't offered openly and freely information to departments, science and research. There's not one time we have held back information about the movement of whales here in Fowlers Bay, not once, except the push from the department when they came here. The research that they were going to do on the vessel, firstly, with no prior knowledge of the area, with no prior knowledge of the area, but also our operation, I put the question back to them, since they were flying drones around the vessel and our operation and putting trackers on and putting external pressure on these whales while we're around them. I knew that the disturbance could have possibly been from the drones, and we know that drones have and especially low-flying drones have an effect on whales. It doesn't have a detrimental effect on whales, but they definitely know that it's there. So the research was already set. They knew exactly the narrative. This is like the end game for them, and this was started in 2021. Now, we got that research quashed within the week. I would have shut my operation down if they had have continued on. I would have just closed the doors for that season because we were going to lose the business back then. It would have been set. At least I got a couple of years out of it. But it's actually building a profile on how the Department of Environment actually bully operators instead of working with them. There you go. So there you go. There's Simone's comment. I'll just do that. One of the operating statements in a paper was the whale watching industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So yeah, there you go. So that's the caliber of researchers that the Department of Environment were enlisting on that on the study. Where was I? Yeah, bloody lost me, honey. So anyway, by the end of the weekend, by the Friday or the Thursday that I meant to turn up, we had the research quashed by not only the Department of Environment, but by the input of South Australian District Council, which helped us with that. Now, and if I had been consulted in the process, and I'll say this out loud now, I am not against research in any way, shape or form. If we could make our operation better, I would. If I could make my business thrive, folks, I would make my business thrive. But we are the leading operators in Australia for Southern White Whale tours. We are, undoubtedly. However, if the Department of Environment had have collaborated with me, if Department of Environment had have collaborated at that point in time and brought me in on the research earlier in the piece, you know, within the, I think it would have been a plan for nearly 6 months. I would have definitely been a part of it if Claire Charlton and her team were a part of the research as well, because they were, again, knowledgeable on the area, our operation, and the behaviour of the southern right whales here in Fowlers Bay specifically, not in Counter Bay. So from that, guys, it caused a fairly big rift between, again, myself and the Department of Environment, and it's now making me look like I am just doing what I want, how I want. But realistically, guys, the picture for me is I've been here for 17 years. I have given my soul for the southern right whales and the protection of these whales over the years that I have been here. Had the department at that point in time approached me and brought me in and asked me to assist in the behaviour, the monitoring of the behaviour of the southern right whales back then, we probably wouldn't have been in this position that we are in now, because we would have endorsed the research, you know, providing that we're all on the same page. It wasn't put on us within a week. I think that, again, you know, had we been in a position that wouldn't make us feel like we were getting attacked, maybe we would have been in a different spot. I don't know. Hearsay. Anyway, the Kate Sprogus, when she left, I said, look, mate, you can add me on Facebook, and that was a definite no Christmas card. so I didn't create any friends back there. Started a long time before that, though. Here's a common trait of me complaining. Here we are. But I complain for many good reasons, guys. Like, I am aggressively protective of, yep, that's exactly where I'm heading, Simone. I'm aggressively protective of the whales. Don't mess with the whales, guys. Don't mess with my whales or the family. I'm a voice that I'm not here to make the money out of you guys or people. You know, like, I have to cover costs. If I could do this for nothing, I would. But I need to cover my costs. The hate for me from the department, I wouldn't even say hate, but the dislike that the department had from me started in around 2015. 15, honey? 14. 14, it was 14, but 15 started. So here we go, another form of protection for the whales here in 2015, folks, and the Encounter Bay crew will understand or will know a little bit about this as well. 2015, the crayfishing industries moved in here, and by the sheer stupidity of both Department of Environment and PIRSA, they allowed a winter Northern Rock Lobster Fishing Association a license to, endorsed a license to fish for crayfish in the coastal zone, northern zone, so between St Francis Island, Streaky Bay, up to Head of Bight, with craypots in shallow coastal regions. Now, the first we knew about this was when we went out to Point Fowler in 2015 and saw about 90 or so plus craypots in the main area of the southern right whales. Like, I mean, we had, and Simone was on the boat this time, we had whales all around the gear, all around the fishing gear, the crab pots, you name it. It was an absolute schmozzle. We were trying to radio the vessel that was coming in. They denied, or they didn't even acknowledge us on the marine radio. All we were trying to do is tell them that there was whales within their gear. we had a boatload of people, folks, and so it was a lot of witnesses. The cray boat came through to pick up the equipment, or his cray pots. As he was doing that, one of the whales took off and went right through the middle of all the cray pots, and it was absolutely terrifying. It was terrifying for everyone. So anyway, I called up, took some photos, called up Department of Environment and just asked them the question. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on with the cray boats up here? And they're like, oh, they're fishing, they don't have any detrimental effect on the whales at all. I don't know what you're talking about. I tell you what, guys, the behaviour changes when the cray boats were in here working around the area was absolutely erratic. I mean, the whales wouldn't even come into the bay. They would bypass fowlers. They would turn off at Clare Bay, go way out past all the equipment, all the noise, all the vessels. It was absolutely soul destroying watching these whales moving out of the bay as fast as they were coming in. But the additional pressure of having anywhere between 270 and 300 cray pots strung out between here and Mexican Hat in the main migration path for the southern right whale, was like, you just wanted to grab them and say, hey guys, what the hell were you thinking? Which we did. We called them out on it. We said, look guys, where was the research done? Like, why are you allowing what was the biggest disturbance? What's the biggest fatality rate of southern right whales or northern right whales? What is the main reason why the northern right whales are now almost extinct? Crab pots, fishing, entanglements, vessel strikes, you name it, right in the areas that these whales. So we're on a trajectory of the same path here in fowls, out of sight, out of mind. Our questions were who was going to do the who was going to do the disentanglements? How are you going to get to the whales up at Header Bight if the whales went through the crab gear or the cray pots? How are you meant to get out there? How are you mitigating all these? So we called them out on it back in 2015 and 16. We ended up having to fight the battle ourselves, guys. We went public, again, another public, and again, I'm a private person. Went public with it. We got a bite back from Kiri, from the Northern Rock Lobster Fishing Association, and that was facilitated by Emma Pedler, actually, on the ABC radio. But over a course of nearly 2 years, we were pretty aggressive with the crayfishing industry, and again, they were equally aggressive with us on the backside, but they've put us in a position that the Department of Environment put us in a position that we're trying to protect the bay, the whales, trying to monitor the whales, make sure there was no entanglements, trying to monitor where the whales were moving to and how they were moving through and from. And this is documented by our scientists that were on the boat with us those years. It was absolutely appalling, guys. And the Department of Environment just turned around and says it has no impact. They're not there. They're not whale watching, folks. They're not whale watching. But we fought, Simone and I fought for the protection of these whales back then. We got a handshake, and this is how stupid it is. We as a business shouldn't have been fighting for the removal of the cray pots. It should have been the Department of Environment fighting for the protection of the southern right whales like they're doing now. They should have been saying, well, the cray boats have a detrimental effect on the whales, but they don't see it. It's like, oh no, they're no problems there, folks. Those whales don't even know that they're there. But we saw it. We saw it, and we saw that the risk wasn't there. Like, it wasn't worth risking the safety of the whales by a few cray pots for a season that shouldn't have been approved in the first place. Now, Kiri and I met, which is exactly what Susan Close should do with me. Kiri and I met, and we sat around a table, and we came up with a mutual agreement, a handshake agreement between Northern Rock Lobster Fishing Association and EP Cruises, not the Department of Environment. The agreement was to keep the cray boats out of the coastal regions between 0 and about 30 metres, which put the cray boats out past the area that the whales move, and it let them move freely around the coastline without having any disturbance in their path. Now, hats off to Kiri from the Northern Rock Lobster Fishing Association, and I give him my greatest respect that over the years, since 2016, Kiri and his cray boats, and the duration was between the 15th of June and the 15th of September, was when they were going to restrict their fishing down coastal here in Fowlers Bay or on the west coast. Hats off to Kiri. Kiri has stuck to his word for all these years, and I commend him on that. I really do. I don't disagree that they're allowed to fish, and I don't disagree that with, I'm not against fishing. I'm not against anything, but a good management is absolutely imperative, especially this time of the year. So there's another fight that we won. I've still got the letter, guys. I've still got the letter that was written by the Northern Rock Lobster Fishing Association to EP Cruisers. Hats off to Kiri, and I commend him. I really do. Look, and the list goes on. You're saying that we've bled for the protection of the right whales here, and these rules here, what Susan Close is doing is absolutely absurd. It really is. Now, moving on from the cray boats, and it was a win, so we won there, guys. That was a massive win for us. Moving on from that, in the papers here, and it does say, what does it say? These areas first providing consistent protection for South Rail Whale Nursery areas, acknowledging header bite protection includes vessel exclusions. The department will continue. Here we go. So the department, folks, is a taxpayers funded operation, as we know. Will continue to monitor the whale nursery protected areas and assess whether further management actions are required to address ongoing or emerging threats. Come on. Up in arms. Look, guys. Why would you pay someone that has absolutely no interest, no business investment, no real concern for protection apart from the paycheck at the end of the week? Why would you entrust a department member and pay for a department member to be here monitoring the southern right whale nursery protected area when there is somebody already here that does a far superior job of protecting the area? Why would you put someone in charge of such a delicate and beautiful location? Why? Who? Tell me who. Have they got someone? Is there a question here that we can be asking? Which researcher do you want here managing and monitoring the whale nursery protected area here in Fowlers Bay? I asked the question. Why would you want to pay anyone to do a job that they're not invested in? Why would you do it? I do not trust the Department of Environment with this place. Full stop. I do not trust Susan Close's intentions with this place. Full stop. Not going to bag her out. I'm just saying that is the worst. Actually, it's the second worst comment that she's made. Her advisors have made. But firstly, when she says that my business will thrive on public TV, holy smokes. Now she's telling me that the department will manage an area that they have absolutely no interest in, except a fat paycheck at the end of the week. Why? Come on, guys. We have that much knowledge of Fowlers Bay. We have that much knowledge of Fowlers Bay. Why would you be why change something that isn't broken? Broken. Why change something that's not broken? Give me that reason why. So guys, I'm keeping this up here. I'll go through a couple more and then it's my first sip of wine. I was meant to have a wine earlier, but I just haven't. I wanted to do this on a clear head, not on highly emotional that I can potentially get to. So ongoing actually, from the research that was meant to be done here in Fowlers Bay, they continued on their merry little path down to Encounter Bay, where the other operator in question adhered to their rules and restrictions and all the rest of the business. However that worked, I'm not quite sure. But the tour, we'll get to the killing of the calf in a minute there, Sim, but I just want to go back a little bit on that. Sorry, I'm backtracking here, guys. I moved away from it, but I think it's important that you understand that when the researcher that was going to conduct the tours here, the researcher wouldn't conduct tours, the researcher was cancelled from Fowlers Bay. They went straight down to Encounter Bay and they positioned themselves on the Big Duck tour boat, where they complied to the rules and regulations of the research. However, as you all are well aware of, and if you haven't, I would tell you guys to read the paper that was written by Kate Sprogus on the interactions on the 18 fecal follow, whatever they call it, focal follows, which states that there was no real negative impact on the behaviour changes of the southern right whales. So anyway, that's to have a read of it. So that was that one. So it goes on through this. Letter from the Department of Environment. Now, as Simone said, the one that recovered our own costs and sent trucked out low. Okay, here we go. So here we go. We're getting up to this one now, Sim. You're being more impatient than what I am tonight. I'm trying to get through it. I'm trying to get there. I really am. I'm trying to pull this apart because it is actually infuriating. So Fowlers Bay, let's just read it out together. Fowlers Bay is an increasingly critical area for southern right whale recovery, and while vessel traffic in Fowlers Bay may be limited, the whales in Fowlers Bay are not immune to impacts from key threats. Okay, here's this one. Here's the kicker. For example, as you may recall, in 2019, the South Australian Museum conducted a post-mortem on a southern right whale calf collected in Fowlers Bay, which found the cause of death likely to be a result of a vessel strike. Ensuring vessel compliance with safe boating speeds near whales and minimising the risk of vessel strikes will be critical in the success of the whale nursery protected areas. Including human-induced disturbance in reproductive areas is essential for the species' continued recovery. Claire Charlton, Sprogus 23. Now, righto, here we go. Yes, 2019, folks, we had a southern right whale calf mortality. We had a southern right whale calf die here in Fowlers Bay. Now, we had in 2019 16 pairs of southern right whales. I remember the year. Very, very well. It was an amazing year. Our operation is 4 knots, folks. 4 knots. 4 knots at the very most. I am absolutely 100% undoubtedly positive that it wasn't caused by my vessel. Mate, I wouldn't even hurt a flea if I went over it with the speed that we're travelling, and the travel speed is less than 4 knots through the nursery, less than 4. Anyone that's been on my boat knows how fast we go, and I don't even have to try to protect myself from that because I know what we do. I've got 875 tracks on this stating my speed, so I'm very well protected. But in 2019, this calf was dead on the beach. So again, as most of you are aware, and you're well a part of my life here in Fowlers Bay. We also do the live videos in the morning, and part of that reason, guys, is to be able to see and witness any whale strandings here in Fowlers Bay. It's one of the reasons why I started doing it, and the other, I love it. Don't get me wrong. But the afternoon, folks, we're down there in the boat that year. We're down at that same spot in the afternoon. A calf was dead on the beach, way down the beach. That calf, folks, I found. I also facilitated. I called up Catherine Kemper from the South Australian Whale Museum, which I'm very good friends with. And within 24 hours, we paid for the removal of the whale. We paid for it to be put on a freezer truck, and we also paid for that to get to Adelaide out of our own money so Catherine Kemper could have it. We also got told not to touch that whale, not to remove it, not to do anything with it, wait for the Department of Environment. We need it, we need this, we need that, we need to document, all that kind of stuff. And I said to him, Catherine Kemper already wants it. I said, we've already arranged all the transport up to Adelaide. Within 24 hours, guys, we had that whale off the beach and sitting in a freezer at the museum, which Catherine Kemper was absolutely over the moon with. So much so that part of that post-mortem, or the necropsy of that whale, I was invited down to Adelaide, which I took up the offer, as much as it was sad to see a whale die, especially how much I love doing what I do. But I was a part of the necropsy in the museum at that point in time. Yes, Catherine said potentially vessel strike, but where? We don't know. That calf was not one of my 16. There was a calf that was scared out of a place on the southeast of Adelaide, potentially that whale was swimming all the way up from wherever she was and impacted with a vessel somewhere on the road or somewhere between Adelaide and here. Or, hey guys, where that whale actually came ashore was breaking surf. So let's get this. How is this even brought up? If it was a common, if this was a common behavioural trait of whales dying here in Fowlers, I fully agree that there should be some changes. But we were the forefront of that whole process. We were, again, part of research that Catherine Kemper had never got a calf in such good condition before. They're usually decomposed and completely unworkable. So, guys, again, another hole. Just pick another one. Oh, they will thrive, folks. Mr. Keogh is going to thrive. So there's another one. Again, saying that we're having a detrimental effect on the whales. Okay, whatever. Another one. Changing tactics yet again. We note many of the year's whale observations and you view that your operations have not adversely affected whale behaviour and calving rates. Well, come on, mate. What are the numbers in Fowlers Bay? Now, do your researchers and your information from these flights, how often do you get that? Well, okay, one flight a year, 1 or 2 weeks of researchers at Head of Bite, and 2 to 3 days of research here in Fowlers Bay gives you what you think you know. That's all. Oh, for shit's sake, come on. answer with something other than I'm not even going to say it. I'm holding my tongue, so I'm starting to get a bit wound up. So I'll take a breath. Okay, so, and the other one that I want to bring up again, percentage of whales. Okay, so they're saying that Fowler's Bay is recovering because maximum occupancy at the head of Bight, it's reached its maximum occupancy. Rightio. Okay, now that one is just a figure out of the sky by science. Now that is a complete joke. It is a complete joke. Now, if that was the case, guys, if that was the case and head of Bight has reached its maximum occupancy, they would be having 100 to 200 whales at head of Bight every single year for that to be true. Now, Fowler's Bay, guys, has been on a steady trajectory ever since we have been here in Fowler's Bay. It's been on an increase. Head of Bight's actually decreasing in numbers. We're increasing. Now, if that's saying that there is we're having a detrimental effect on these whales. Now, why the hell? Assumptions are the mother of all stuff-ups. Yes. Why the hell would these whales be going from Fowler's Bay back to here? Head of Bight. Why on those low years don't we have any whales? Why on these lower years over the last 4 or 5 years, our numbers have been increasing? Now, these whales, guys, do not have to be here. They do not have to be here in Fowler's Bay. They can swim away from my boat. I don't follow them. I don't chase the whales. I sit in one spot and I've got 800 tracks and 800 hourly logs or minute by minute logs of where and how we move around Fowler's. Like, they have absolutely no ground for that assumption either. Like, they're pulling figures out of the sky. They are treating this as a win for the environment when it is going to be a absolute it's going to destroy the place. If we leave this place in the hands of the Department of Environment, this place will be gone in 5 years. Guarantee it. I'd put money on it, guys. I'd put money on it. I pride myself in my operation and the way we conduct our tours, and I pride myself in the way that we manoeuvre around these whales, and I pride myself in what we've created here in Fowler's Bay over the last 17 years. I don't question a day of my operation here in Fowler's. I don't question that we're doing the wrong thing. I do not at all, at any point, wonder if I'm having a bad effect on the whales. I know for a fact that these whales wouldn't be here unless we were. Which takes me to probably the last thing, guys, the permit. It does state here, where is it? It does say that your consultant changed the process. Where are we? It comes back to our permit. Prompt me, Sim, whereabouts is it? Our permit, guys, I won't keep this much longer because I know that everyone's going to be busy. But anyway, where the department engaged the environment. So she does, and I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere here. But anyway, what it states in the permit here, guys, is that the permit is a lease. With a permit being a lease, guys, we have to sign that. We have to sign a permit. Many issues of not affected by expense by largely to there. I'm trying to find where it actually says it. So Sim, quick, prompt me. Where is it? We intended approach distance, impact, therefore availability. I think it's up the top, isn't it? It states that yes, we did sign the permit and there's no choice to sign it, or you don't see it. It says in our permit here, and she keeps bringing this up, she keeps bringing up that the permit is it's a lease. We don't have any rights at all to question their lease at all. Approved. I've got to find where that is because it's not as you're aware, originally be taken. However, I've been informed you decline to participate. Whereabout is it? Come on, Sim, quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's there. Anyway, so it states that our permit is a lease. Over the years, we have signed that lease agreement or the permit. Plans, clean licenses, protect keys. So we've signed a license. It says that the minister can revoke the 150. Is that the one down there? Your correspondence equally claims you are not consulted on changes to approach distance. However, you signed your last permit. There you go. You acknowledged and agreed to the condition that the minister may need to revoke the special permission in your permit to approach wild calves to 150 metres if it is deemed to be in the interest of conservation to do so during the 3-year permit term, for example, because of research findings or your recommendations or a recommendation out of the National Review of the Australian National Guidelines for Whales and Dolphin Watching 2017. The Minister has the power to revoke under Section 69(3)(c) National Parks and Wildlife Act 1972. Well, we do not get a choice but to sign that permit. Otherwise, if we don't sign the permit, we don't get a license or a lease. That there is the way that is worded. It doesn't sound like it, but once you read the permit, you'll get the gist. Minister has the power as well. You know, at the end of the day, the minister has the power to just go, hey, poof, you, Mr. Keogh, you're again. Let's just say you are a great exemplary operator, and we want you to protect our whales. How about you just continue how your operation goes? It's not that we agree. Yeah, there you go. They hold all the cards, they do. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been about an hour. There is more in this, but I know that people are going to probably start getting bored of it, and that's not what I'm trying to achieve. But anyway, there you go. There's a bit, but that's only a snippet of what can come. Overall, guys, all I want to say is that the decisions leading up to this part have been of definitely force from the Department of Environment side. There's been, and they do say here, the consultation process, which was completely, you received a letter on the 27th of May 2025 and an invitation to meet to discuss the proposed whale nursery protection area, which you agreed to. Meeting with the department staff on the 23rd of June 2025, where you outlined your concerns relating to the end of your exemption in 2027. So there we go. We understand your concern on how the changes to your permit conditions may affect your business operations. However, we believe that EP Cruises can continue to operate successfully under the revised conditions. The goal of the department is to ensure that the natural environment is valued and prioritised, and that declines in biodiversity are reversed and ecosystems are adapted to climate change. One effective management strategy at present for the southern right whale conservation is to regulate vessel approach distances to minimise disturbance, as the neighbouring site to head of Bight, Fowler's Bay, is expected to play an increasingly important role in the recovery of the southern right whale population. Ensuring a strong protection now is vital to supporting the recovery into the future. Beep, 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 beep. You just can't fix it. I'm not even going to say it. What a way to end a shitty email. Good on ya. I really, really value your input, Department of Minister of Department. I value your email. But how about you pick up the phone, like I've said, and let's stop this stop wasting my money to fight you, and stop wasting everyone's money to send emails to you. Stop wasting people's time. We can come to an agreement. I've invited you. I have sent you emails now. I have openly wanted to start dialogue, not this jargon that is infuriating a lot of your voters that now won't vote for you. And I believe that I've still got nearly 2 years to gain a hell of a lot more strength, and I won't rest until the Southern Right Whales are protected. If I have to go and I will, and I said it, I've got a lot of time to rally support and prove, and again, I'm going to prove through research that again we've done the scoping, we've done the research already on behavioural changes around the boat, which is again come out in open media that we are the reason why the whales are pretty much recovered here in Fowler's Bay, but our operation is at best practice, and I don't have to protect that. We are. But a paper's going to come out shortly, guys, stating the behavioural changes, or if any, of the whales. And again, it's just going to go back into the department's face, because this, guys, is an overreach of power. It's been about a 12-year bullying, thumping the chest tactics, and it has been extremely taxing on myself and my family for the last 12 years, especially the last 4, dealing with the Noitz Archipelago. But this just shows you, again, the Ross Allens of the world that will come out, and it shows you the way that the department dictates instead of working with. But this is bigger than, this is, guys, the biggest form of bullying, and I'm in fight mode. I am absolutely in fight mode. I am fighting for the protection of the Southern Right Whales, and I'm fighting for my livelihood, because we have been here for 17 years and we have developed the business around the experience. And for someone that has absolutely no interest in looking into my business to turn around and say that we're going to thrive with these conditions, firstly, is absolutely out of line. She is completely out of line, and it shows you her advisors behind her and underneath her are just as bad as what she is. Now, I'm going to leave it there, folks. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. I wanted to keep that very tame, which I did. I know I was a bit fired up today, but the more you read the email, the more they're clutching at straws, and the more support that I'm getting and gaining. I know for a fact, guys, that I know undoubtedly that we are doing the right thing, and that's the only reason why I'm 100% certain, is because I know that the business that we have here brings protection to the right whales, but it also brings a lot of enjoyment to thousands of people that then will go on to protect the Southern Right Whales. So there you go. Anyway, guys, love yous all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Way too long, absolutely way too long, guys. But I do, at the bottom of my heart, without, again, I said that I'm a private person, but without the support and the following that I have here on this page, there is no way that I would have been able to have the courage to stand up to where I am now. The fight is nowhere near but over, and I think this is a very good start to a huge campaign that I'm going to start pushing, which will be showing the public the going to bring to light a lot of the other tourism ventures around South Australia now. I'm going to make sure that I reach out to every other operator that's been directly affected by decisions from the Department of Environment for no particular reason, and I'm going to interview every single one of them over the next 12 months or next 9 months. And I'm going to bring increasing pressure on the department to start and stop locking up Australia and our state. We will not stand for that. We want our state back. And that is what I promise. I am going to do it. I will be very public about who's been screwed over, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, yeah, Steve, well, that shut our charter business down as well, just another business that's gone through decisions. So, Steve, South Australia, I am here. I am open to your comments and support. And if you think that I can do things better, please sing out, let me know. I'm here and I'm going to make sure that we make this right. Thanks, guys. Love yous all. We'll stay strong, we'll stay as one, we'll be together again. Tomorrow, folks, 7 o'clock, 6:45 or 6:40 tomorrow morning, I'll be live. And yes, it's meant to be Thumping Thursdays, but I think we've had enough of Thumping Thursdays. Let's just go and enjoy Thursday morning. Keep going, send it live, send it wide. Love yous all. Jenny, send me an email. Anyone out there, send me an email if you know somebody that is willing to talk. I am on a mission. I'm on a mission. I'm going to make sure that if I'm going, somebody's coming. Anyway, guys, love yous all. I remember, peace, blue skies, wild tales tomorrow. You guys have yourselves an absolutely cracking night. Sorry about the big rant today, but anyway, we're done. Thank you for tuning in to Whale TV.